Third trip up to Big Tens for you. What have you learned at this meet in the last couple years that could help you?
Oh, well, I've definitely learned that you have to swim fast in prelims, so I'm trying to use that experience to do a little better this year than the last 2 years.
Is it tough to get up as much for prelims as maybe you see the finals and the energy that's in the building for that?
There's a lot of energy throughout the whole meet, but there's definitely probably more energy during finals, but that's where you just have to pull it out from within and get it done in prelims.
So I'm assuming at the same time you got to kind of keep an even keel throughout the course of the meet because it's a long meet. What, 7 or 8 sessions?
Yeah, absolutely. So a 3-day meet for most people. If you're one of the relay guys on Wednesday, it's a 4-day meet then. So yeah, definitely trying to be focused throughout the whole meet.
Third Big Tens for you, Liam. You've also been in a lot of big meets like we've talked about over the years. Where does this one rank in terms of the meets you've experienced?
It's definitely up there. It's definitely in my top 3 with NCAAs and any national, international meet that I do with my home team, in Canada or whatever. And but this one's definitely important to me because you qualify for NCAAs with this one, and so yeah, I'm looking to set a good mark for myself this week.
What have you learned about the taper process and the way your body responds to it?
I've learned a lot since I've come to Purdue with that whole complicated process. I really like the way Dan tapers me. He's got the whole thing figured out, so I put a lot of trust in him and just go along with his plan. So it seemed to work out for me.
Could you give us just maybe a couple quick highlights of what he does so well with that?
He just plans it out every practice carefully, as in like over the course of a 3-week period, descends every day, intensity, but still really smart with certain sets to put a little bit of sting in my practice and stuff. And
yeah, I'm pretty excited to go home. I got a lot of family and friends coming to watch me. It's the school I grew up in, so I'm pretty comfortable there. I'm just excited to get there and show them what I can do.
How has the taper process been for you here this year, freshman year?
It's been good. I think Dan and Jay really, I really trust them, and they, I've done this for a long time, so I really know what they're doing. So I've just, followed whatever they said and, trust that it'll work.
What do you feel like matters more when it comes to maximizing speed here in the championship meet? The taper process and the resting, or maybe the suits?
I mean, the suits always give you a mental edge, but I think it's really, more the work you've put in, and then, resting and, relying on that work more than the suits, I think.
Is there maybe a race or two that you're feeling strongest about?
I'm pretty excited for the 2 IM and the 100 breast.
A lot of these kids come out of high school and their high school state meet is so intense, so emotional. It's one session one day and then another session the next day. Where this one is 7 sessions over 4 days, so we really literally talk about having a briefcase and putting your goggles and your cap in your briefcase, opening it up, go to work, put it back in your briefcase, go back to the hotel and rest up, and then get ready for the next session. So that's the mentality you got to have. Then when you're in those 2-hour sessions, you got to keep your emotions in check, but then when they're ready, attack. So that's kind of our mindset this week. It's a long haul, it's a long weekend. There's a lot of ebbs and flows during the week, but I think we got a pretty mature team. We've got great senior leadership. We've got a lot of guys who have been there before. We got a small group of guys who've never been there before. So between that, I think we're ready to handle the emotional ups and downs of the week.
How do you feel like the guys maybe learn how their bodies respond to the preparation, the taper, the resting as they get older?
As they get older, it's easier because we kind of figure them out. It's the young guys, the hard part, because they haven't done the type of work that we've probably done one way or another. It's just different. And so as coaches, we still haven't seen them rest yet. We don't really quite know what to expect. The great thing about college is there's 7 seasons basically. There's 4 winters, 3 summers that you can constantly get feedback from. So this is only the first one for the freshmen, so we're still a lot of things that we don't know about them yet. But what we're going at is we know they've worked as hard as they ever have in their life, and it's just time to rest and go focus on the right things, and we should swim really well. The older guys, you really, what happens is at the beginning, everything works, and then the older they get, fewer and fewer things work, and then we focus on those few things with each kid, and then we're making sure that those are what we're concentrating on, and then we pretty much kind of have an idea of what's going to happen to those guys when they get there because of that.
What have you kind of learned about the way your body responds to the taper process during your time at Purdue?
I've learned that I usually have a bit of a shorter taper than most guys, and so being able to talk with Dan and communicate how my taper is different than other guys is very important, and it's something that Dan does very well.
How would you kind of balance what matters more, the resting and the taper versus the suits?
Everything's important at the taper meet. Any little thing you can do to swim faster is obviously something you want to go ahead and do. So,
assuming that you'll be the breaststroke guy on the medley relays, you know, it'll be a long meet for you, swimming in multiple sessions. How important is it to keep an even keel?
It's pretty important to me. I think that, you know, coming from those 2 years of experience already, I think it's going to be easier, definitely, because it's not going to be new to me. But yeah, a lot of pressure is put on me, sort of, but I think I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to swim fast.
Personally, what do you enjoy most about Big Ten championships?
You know, I'm laughing. Is most of my career, it was just, it's like the most, you know, stressful 3 days, 4 days, because it's like if you're a head basketball coach, you got 18 games. The stress is the grind. Here, it's a grind of 7 sessions in 4 days, but my whole paycheck is based on this week. So if somebody's sick or somebody's off, or I'm an idiot for some reason, do something wrong, then it, you know, really suffer. So so enjoying the Big Ten meet is a relative expression.
Kind of unrelated to Big Ten, so something I've been meaning to ask you, the white cap. Well, yeah. What's the story behind that?
There's nothing really. I like a dome cap, and I don't like wearing these kinds of caps. And I don't have a black dome cap, so I just wear the white one. So until, you know, somebody throws me a bone or something, you know, somebody throws me a black dome cap, I'm just gonna wear that one.
Did you have to get special permission to wear that white one?
I don't know. No, I didn't. But I don't know. I haven't had any, you know, crap from my teammates or anything. So
sure, it's kind of become your Purdue signature a little bit too.
Pretty much, yeah.